In this video, we're going to look at some of the ways that we do things. And we're going to start looking really from the perspective of, can we rely on the currently available information and feedback? So why doesn't the business understand? So first of all, we have to understand, what does good IT mean? So from the CXO's perspective, they're looking for that simple, that easy gut feeling. How good are we? Do we go? Do we stop? How do we make it move? How can we get other people to buy in? The CIO still has to accept all of that operational aspect of running IT. And they have to be able to communicate and provide a common understanding. So when we talk about those different perspectives, they have to be included here. When we look at IT, they have a bad habit of changing the definition of words. And one of the words that we use here is quality. Now, if you ask anybody in IT, what is the definition of quality? They will tell you something along the lines of the degree to which a set of inherent characteristics fulfills requirements, meeting the needs of the business. Now, the problem here with that definition is it instills this idea that the business will do all the thinking and IT will wait until you tell us what you want us to do, and the measure of how good we are is that we'll do what you asked us. Can anybody seriously say that that is a good measure of quality, doing only what you're told? What we say is there's a better way to do it, and the Oxford Dictionary agrees. The standard of something as measured against other things of a similar kind, the degree of excellence of something. Now, if you think about that, even just for a moment, that's a much better way to decide whether or not there is a degree of excellence, the quality of an IT function. It's no longer about doing what you were asked. It's now taking that much further and saying, how do we compare against other similar functions? And what is the degree of excellence? How much further do we go in order to really add value to our organization? When you look at traditional approaches, if you start to use this kind of definition, how do we measure this? If we look at, for example, maturity processes, what gives a definition of quality? The highest score, the most processes, the average score? If we're wanting to compare two different organizations together, how do we decide what is good? And when we bring in the context, how can we compare whichever method we choose and whichever score? How do we make that relevant to that business at that point in time? The resources that they have, what is good for them? You can't. Even when we go to things like ISO, so we start to talk about how we meet a minimum standard. So an ISO is a predefined list of various different elements that you are or are not compliant to. How does that tell us what IT is actually doing for the business? Certainly here in the UK, most organizations have things like ISO 9001. So if everybody's got it, where's the competitive advantage? What is it actually delivering to the business? It's not delivering anything. It's simply giving a measure that you're as good as everyone else. You have the basics in line. And I don't think that in today's age, that's good enough. We have to do more. We have to self-improve, and we have to deliver more. And one of the challenges around this is, what do managers manage? Is there any strategic level measure related to IT quality? Do we as an industry offer any good measure of IT quality. I don't believe we do until now. Part of this is because managers will manage what there is to manage. And all of the tool sets that are out there are all focused on volume metrics. They're looking at SLAs. But we're moving into a world where the business needs more than just meeting an SLA. The repetitive tasks are reducing, but the more complex tasks are increasing. So it's no longer about simple SLA where 1 minute is good and 1 minute and 3 seconds is terrible. It's no longer about that. It's about a more collaborative model where we can really start to deliver more value to the organization. And one of the key things that are being discussed now is people are talking about customer experience. Customer experience is all we need. Well, there's an inherent problem with this, and there's a risk. And this is why I asked the question whether or not we can actually trust the feedback that we're given. And Henry Ford said it brilliantly. If we asked people what they wanted, they would have told us faster horses. In a world where innovation is vital to survival and to be able to avoid disruption, it's not good enough just to ask people whether or not the service they have received was good. We have to go yet further than that, and we actually have to give them something that they had no frame of reference for. And this is the key when we ask for customer satisfaction. What they are doing is they are comparing you to other similar things. And they are deciding based on that whether or not the experience they got with you was good. But if they have no frame of reference, they can't really say whether it was good or not. And they can only tell you the bits that they actually had contact with. So everything else that IT is doing between something breaking and something being requested, it's not captured. So what that does is it actually gives the perception once again that IT is wholly reactive. They're not bringing anything. All they're doing is keeping the lights on. So we need to be able to measure the quality and, importantly, the degree of excellence in order to be able to say that we add value to the business.